Alright, what's up guys? So in keeping with what I said in the last video, I really do want to do a few more videos here and there, things I've been meaning to do. And so today I thought I'd do an update on the Volvo in general. I've been doing a few different things since the last time I really gave an update of what was going on. I did have the T5 swap, you can watch those videos, I'll put the link in the description. But I did a few other things on the car too, so let's take a look. Now one of the biggest things you could tell is I did install the Cosi K1 wheels. And I did have to use some 35mm adapter spacers, whatever you want to call them. And I like the fitment personally. It comes out pretty nice in the front and the rear. I do actually have to adjust my panhard bar because if you can tell, it does actually sit a little bit different from one side to the other. But T5 swap is doing pretty well. And I also installed these. You can see back here I have a couple off-road LED lights that I installed, and I'll give you a taste of what they look like. Now personally I really like them. They're just sort of like an auxiliary light, and I got them from my roommate. He had some extra lights that he was getting rid of, so I actually wanted to add them. And if any of you know Volvo 240s, namely the older ones, you know that the GT models actually had lights with cutouts in the grille right here and here, which if you look is right where my lights are mounted. Whoop. And it was actually pretty easy. There was actually a hole on this side that was already there, and it just happened to fit the bolt. And then I just measured and cut over here, and you can see they're angled out because these are floodlights, and they kind of hit the headlight bucket. You can see how it kind of cuts it off. So it's pretty good. It keeps it from glaring too far off to the side. It actually does come out at a pretty good angle. They still reach out to here. You can kind of see the LED bulbs just poking through there. And it's a pretty wide spread, and it was actually perfect for canyon driving, which was originally what I wanted the lights for. And it was pretty easy. I just kind of wired them in. Funny story, I actually found the switch in the trunk of the car. I guess the previous owner had it in there, and it is temporarily installed here. It's just a little three-way switch here, and I just have it wired in really simply. This is obviously temporary, but it lights up with a little LED. I am eventually going to move it over here next to the headlight switch. There is a perfect little panel right here. I know a couple people will make use of the numerous blank spots on the switch panel here, but I realize that the little bezel on the switch might be a little too wide to fit on there, and it might make the side of the plastic too small if I were to cut a hole for it. So I figured it'd be perfect to have it right over by the headlight switch anyway, so I have all my lights in one spot. Now moving back to the engine, nothing big going on over here if I'm honest. You may have noticed that in previous videos I did have a metal oil cap, but those tend to get really hot and they don't seal as well. And so far this one with a different seal on it has been sealing a little better. There might be a little bit of seepage here and there, but it is much better than the metal one that I had before. And I can touch it with the engine. I just turned the car off a minute or two ago, and I can touch it just fine. The metal ones make it so where you literally need gloves, or you will burn yourself if the cap is hot at all. And also, you know, we got my HKS boost controller here. I did turn the boost up once I installed the T5 and the new clutch, once it was broken in and everything. When I first bought the car, it actually was running at just a little under 13 to 14, almost 15 PSI, depending on if the weather was cold. And that was just blowing through the stock clutch, and it was scaring me with the strength of the old transmission. I turned it down to 8 PSI, and it had been at that until I did the T5 swap. For a few weeks, I ran the T5 at 8 PSI, and when I was confident there were no additional issues or anything, the transmission and clutch were all engaging good, there was no weird noises, no weird operation issues or anything like that, and the clutch was satisfactorily broken in to my taste, I decided to turn it up. And I will do a demonstration of different boost levels in the future in terms of what the engine sounds like, how it behaves, how it affects performance and such. And I'll also talk about gas mileage, because I did have this engine, long story, let's just say somebody thought it would be funny to play a joke and turn my boost controller up. And the car was actually running right at 15 PSI for a few days with the T5, with the new gearing and everything. And let me tell you, this thing is quite the rocket ship at 15 PSI. The gap between 8 PSI and 12 PSI that I have it turned up to now is pretty big. And the gap between 12 and 15 PSI is almost even bigger, if I do say so myself. This turbo, if you haven't seen my intro video, is a Han Racecraft Super 16G. Basically, they take an early Evo, we're talking Evo 3, Evo 4, I'm not sure if the Evo 5 had something like this, turbo, and they change things up. I think it's got a different wheel. It's like a 60-42, I think, are the wheel sizes, and they give it a 10 centimeter exhaust housing, and it's supposed to help boost creep and such, but it is meant for higher PSI and higher RPM than my engine tends to run at. And let me tell you, it wakes up over 10 PSI. Below 10 PSI when I was running it at 8, it was all right. It was definitely scooting much more power than this car ever had stock, but 12 PSI was awesome, and 15 PSI was almost a little bit crazy. And I'm sure you're all wondering when I'm going to get to the engine mount. I talked to Josh at Yoshi Fab when I was picking up the T5 parts, and he actually showed me his heavy-duty engine mounts, and I really do like them a lot. It's just a matter of time before I purchase a pair, and one issue that was also stopping me from doing that, not sure if you can see it down here. One second. Here we go. If you can see right about here, my cross member is a little bit messed up. You can see one side looks normal, the other side is a bit tweaked. Now, it's not just that lip that's tweaked, the actual beam itself is a little bit twisted. So because of that, I was looking into getting a new engine cross member. Josh actually said he has one that I could purchase from him, and he'll cut me a good deal with the cross member and the engine mounts, and that is the plan in the near future here. I just need time and, you know, motivation and such. Things have been super busy with the holiday, part of the reason why I hadn't gotten so many videos out recently, but I should have some more time here in the near future, and I might be looking at a new job here soon, which would be, if I'm honest, a good increase in pay, and would allow me to do a lot more stuff with my cars and probably have a little bit more time as well. I'm really hopeful that it works out, and hopefully we'll see if I have any good luck there. But for now, I've been driving the car. It's a daily driver. It's been pretty reliable. Only one real issue that I've had is the alternator tensioner bracket. And it's a little bit tough to see down here, but this is the alternator tensioner. You can see the adjuster bolt here. And there's a bolt way down here, way inside that bolt right there. Now, this is a different bracket because the one that was on the car originally was modified in not the best way. And let's just say that it kept breaking bolts off, and it broke twice, and it actually caused quite a bit of trouble over the holidays here. But my friend Mason, you can follow him right here, he's got a really fun Instagram, a lot of fun, cool cars. He gave me this bracket, which has the stock bushing and everything, and it allowed me to use a better bolt and everything, and so far it hasn't given me any issues. Things are still under tension pretty good, and no more belt slip, no more broken bolts, and my alternator is operating. Beyond that, the car hasn't given me much trouble, and it's not good on gas mileage, I'll admit that, but I really am happy with this car. It is a lot of fun, and I've had some ideas for the future of the car, namely maybe swapping the engine eventually, not anytime super soon, but it would be a really fun swap. Let's just say it wouldn't be a Volvo engine. It might be something a little more Japanese. We'll see. It's not a 2JZ. You can leave your guesses in the comments, and we'll see if anybody gets it. That'd be a fun thing. But until next time, just wanted to get some of these updates out, and, you know, kind of people, or some friends and family and other people in the comment section and all that, asking, you know, hey, what's up with the car? Are you doing anything? You know, you should make more videos and all that. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And hopefully it works out. Hopefully I can continue to get some more videos out for you guys. So until then, see ya.